by Orchid Designs. And then this, one of my favorites, if you've watched our lives before, you know I love this one. This is the Orchid Designs Bohemia Stamp.
It is an old wash stand.
Old antique wash stand. We left the original paint on the bottom. And then it had this, come up to the top.
I will. It's very old and shabby.
It had this funky
faux
tile,
tile,
which I have no idea why it was on there. But the second I saw this funky, it's like a plastic, I don't know, tile top, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to do some stamps on that and make it look like hand-painted tiles. So if you come over here, watch out for that cord. This is our, what we're going for. So these look like old, hand-painted, I don't know, Mexican, Spanish tiles.
Yeah, Italian, yeah.
And then I wanted to work with a new product so I could get out of my comfort zone of Bohemia. And so I've added this sunflower stamp, which I think looks really super cool.
Well, I like yellow and blue. That's a good combo.
Next step, we're gonna get out our sunflower, the largest sunflower for the...
in the stamp set.
Yes, in the sunflower stamp set. And I am gonna come around here to the front and get started on this. I want an outline because I cannot do the yellow without having an outline. So it's gonna be as easy as coloring in a coloring book once I get done.
So Chrissy is stamping this stamp with white.
Yes.
The mixing white ink.
So I'm just getting this nice and inked up. You're not gonna be able to see this white once I get done.
This is a good trick.
And I want it to stay on 4 tiles. So I'm going to kind of let it hang off the sides. I think that's good. Just like
hover.
If I've ever seen anyone stamp before, but we will explain it. You hover over the top. Once you've committed to where you want it to be, you hold it in place with one hand, and then you're just going to make sure that this stamp, I go over the whole stamp.
Not a lot of pressure.
No, but just to make sure that really every bit of it
so
has
that you have good contact.
Some contact.
Yeah. Let's see if I can come in close.
Can they even see that?
Can you see it to paint?
Yeah. It's very light. I don't want to do it again because I don't want to have the extra lines. What I should have done is re-ink that and gotten it super inky. But I don't want to see an extra set of lines so that I don't know what I'm painting. So I'm going to leave it and look closely. So what I've got is a few different colors of yellow and some brown. And then I'm also going to need some water because I want to blend these. I'm getting 2 cups of water because I'm going to put my brown paint into this water, and my yellows can all go into one water. I'm going to start with this yellow, and it's kind of like a mustard yellow. Well, actually, maybe that's mustard, but this one's my favorite, so we're going to start with that, so we'll have most. And I'm just going to dip it in the paint, and the paint that I'm using is chalk paint. So I would dip it in that. I'm going to dip it in a little bit of water, and I'm sorry that y'all can't see the lines. I can see them here in person, so I'm just outlining where my lines were.
So she's just painting the yellow sunflower using 3 different yellows, because you know sunflower is not just sunshine yellow. It kind of has a good mix.
So far I'm just doing the middle yellow.
The basic.
I would say like, yeah.
So see, she's just painting in that background yellow. She's going to use the 3 different colors of yellow and then come back with the sunflower stamp with black ink and boldly stamp on top of that to give the dimension to the sunflower. So what we're doing here is just coloring in those yellow and orangey tints.
I'm putting my stamp over this because I really couldn't see my lines. So I'm seeing what I'm missing because the ones where I really couldn't see them, I didn't guess. I kind of just didn't paint there, and so that's why I'm laying it back over. So I'm just putting this more of a golden yellow towards the center of the leaves.
Yeah, petals.
Petals. And you can kind of go up the side. You know, maybe like, what would that be, the shadow?
Uh-huh.
It would be over here on the side. It's not, you can't do it wrong. Get a few yellows and put them on there and it's going to look really good. So, and then I'm going to put some of the lighter yellow on the tips. And y'all can see this is not taking me a while. I'm actually using the same brush, which is just kind of a flat brush. I don't even know if it's the right one for this application. Okay, so the brown, it's chalk paint, so I kind of I did this about an hour ago where I put it in this little palette here. And it's kind of, gotten thick. So I'm adding some water to it. And I'm going to start with this watery, and then I'll add some more.
So she's stippling rather than brushing
around. I don't want it to be super dark because the stamp does have some little
black
marks
detail
in there, and that's why I said I need to focus on getting this middle area stamped, because I did the same thing the first time. So that's how I knew to just hold my stamp over it and check and see where it needed more. Okay, so it looks like a first grader painted it. It's gonna look so much better once we get those lines on there that
so that's got to dry.
So we're gonna let this dry, and then we're going to move on to the tile painting. Okay, so we haven't seen a lot of this done, but it's completely doable, and
all of these inks are
encouraged.
mixable. So even though we have like 7 or 8 colors of ink, you can mix them to create your own custom color.
So I kind of wanted, I wanted the China blue feel, but I wanted it lighter, and I was going for like a Wedgwood blue. Yeah,
this is how we did it.
With, a dot of that, a dot of that.
So that's China blue and mixing white.
And then I just mixed them together. And actually that's about the color that I got. So I think this is a 1-to-1.
So it's kind of a Wedgwood blue. So now you know when you take your empty bottle, show them our empty bottle that we filled.
This is the one that we filled.
So you know now that what is the formula? It's 1-to-1 of the China and the mixing white. And then we labeled our bottle Wedgwood blue. That's what we called it.
And it may be a little bit darker than Wedgwood blue, but I'll remember.
That's
what it
pretty
was.
darn close.
And here it is on the ink pad. So once we mixed up our bottle, I went ahead and got a fresh new Iron Orchid Designs ink pad and inked it. And I did that by going side to side. Another way to do this, so if you don't want to do the ink pad method, you can also mix this up and then use your Iron Orchid Designs brayer to roll it out and then roll it on a stamp like this.
Brayer it onto a stamp.
And then stamp it down. But I prefer the ink pad. I feel like it's fast, and that's what I'm all about. Is these tiles, like I said, you weren't here at the beginning, this is a faux tile top. It's made out of plastic. It was on here. I saw it. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to make that.
Is it plastic or some kind of MDF?
I don't know. Maybe it's MDF. I didn't put it there.
It's not old. Yeah.
I made this mask.
Template.
And I did this by, I just put it on here, and then I took a razor blade and I cut around it. So that whenever I stamped, I wouldn't be stamping on all these. I would leave it on one. And I used the Bohemia stamp. This stamp comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big stamps, 2 little leaves. I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to look at my pattern over here, and I'm going to try to, let's start here. I'm going to try to not get like...
Duplicate.
Yes, and I'm not doing it in a certain pattern because it takes too long to figure out. I'm just going to
But I think you're right. It's time for that circle-y one.
One right next to the other. So I got my custom mix of our Wedgwood blue, and I'm just going to stamp. And it really doesn't even use the whole stamp, so I could just stamp, you know, part of it.
Yeah, so you don't waste ink.
Making sure that it is covered where it needs to be, because I am just going to stamp on over that. Line it up, hovering over, committed to where it is. I'm going to hold this down with one hand and then kind of tickle all over. And I'm not worried about the parts of this stamp, that, you know, that they're the same on every one, just that, like, that this circle is perfectly where the other one is over here.
We don't play that game.
No, I'm just stamping it down. It's going to look awesome. I'm going to get a peek. Make sure I've...
Right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
And then lift her up.
Ooh, voila.
And then whenever I remove my mask...
There you go.
And this, you can even see like this in a kitchen backsplash.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you want to do like a cheap remodel, and I'm sure you could find this tile board at...
or even if you have white tiles and you're like, boring.
Yeah.
Pop Bohemia on there.
These stamps, like the sides of drawers.
Yes.
Like there's so many uses for just these patterned stamps.
Yeah, Chrissy's right. A lot of times when we paint furniture, we'll pull that side of the drawer open and paint it, and then pop some of the Bohemia on the side. And the thing is, if a customer's liking that piece of furniture, she's loving it when she sees that drawer side.
Then she is sold.
Yeah.
I'm coming in with my black ink and inking this sunflower stamp. Okay, so how I'm lining this up, I just kind of rotated it. I'm going to see where it lines up, looking through the stamp, and I'm pressing down all over.
Wow, wasn't that easy? Makes us look like we're really artists.
Oh, and so what I would do is just come back,
a little bit of touch up,
fill in maybe where I didn't get to the complete edge of it, and then your sunflower is good. So what I'm using here is a mask, and I am
look for this. That's kind of distinctive. Like that right there.
Oh, Mom found it.
I see there. Ta-da!
That's really
well, it helps if you stand back a little bit.
How it lines up.
Yes.
Here.
So
I would look. I painted that yellow. Probably shouldn't have been.
The mask come with your set of stamps. It's a clear plastic sheet that mimics the exact shape of your stamp, so it can be used like a mask to cover it. So and we'll show you why.
Yes, I'm gonna come back. I wish I had enough time to do the whole table.
Judy says, what will you seal with? How long will you wait before sealing?
So, Judy, I'm going to seal with wax. And if you want to look over here, what we sealed with was clear wax.
Let me come over there so you can see it.
I did this part before we started the video. So I sealed with clear wax first, and then I came in with dark wax. The dark wax settled into the cracks and crevices, and kind of gave it more of an aged look.
Kind of deepened the color a little bit.
So that's what I would seal with on this piece. Now, if you were doing your kitchen backsplash, I would seal with a lacquer, something that you can scrub clean. Like behind your stove, I would use a lacquer.
Or for a floor, yeah.
Yeah. So we're double masking here. We've got this mask covering our sunflower. We've got this mask hiding the other tiles. And then we're going to stamp. Make sure everything's covered that needs to be. And then I'm just going to stamp right over it. right over everything.
And see, the masking is preventing that stamp from covering up her sunflower. It's going to appear that the Bohemia design is behind the sunflower.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cool thing.
And then I'm going to pull back my sunflower.
Ta-da! Let me go in close. So you see, you've still got the sunflower.
And it just goes around the leaves.
Let me go in close.
Easy.
See that look?
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in, watching us on IOD TV. If you like this project, these products, a quick recap, we used IOD's Bohemia Stamp. We used IOD's Sunflower Stamp. You can find those at your local stockist. The link is in the information thing up top, the post.
Yes. Yes.
We're from Bird's Nest Gifts and Antiques, and I hope to see y'all next time. Thanks.